Bungie, Bungie, Bungie. Somehow this is even a new low for you. You're like the 30-year-old guy who still lives in his mom's basement but finally got a job. We were all mighty proud of you, and then you let us down by slipping back into your old ways. Despite that though, we loved you anyway. But now you shit on the carpet and it's time for some real discipline. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Bungie recently released a state of the game for Destiny 2. And let's just say it's not good news. I'm gonna give the brief Cliff Notes version of this because it's essentially been read to death at this point. But I think it's worth reiterating some of these big boy clownage statements. The first one being, the final shape and the seasons leading up to it are incredible. So for the rest of this update, you'll be hearing from a bunch of different voices that all contributed to this mid-year state of the game. First off, I'm gonna have to stop you right there, Joe, cause they are certainly not incredible. I know peak. I watched Attack on Titan. I also played Season of Opulence, so believe me when I say I remember Destiny at its peak. The last good Destiny season was Season of the Lost, and before that, Season of Arrivals. Seeing as how I want to fall asleep while playing deep dives and salvage, I'd have to disagree with you, Joe. We also get a bit of an insight here into the dev's work ethic. My brother couldn't even finish writing this article. He had to give it to other people to finish, who gave it to other people to finish. Next we got, we're thankful to see so many players continuing to join us throughout this journey, and it's been amazing to welcome more new lights than we've ever expected with Lightfall. I can assure you, they're not there anymore. Seeing as how the player population has reached a 2-year low, I'm gonna have to go out on a limb and say they didn't stick around. This is where we start getting to the meat and bones of the goofology here. The most frequent feedback we see is that there is just not enough new PvP content, specifically new maps. To set expectations, our studio structure is built to support more overarching updates to PvP, like the ones above. Rather than focusing exclusively on maps, while we do focus our resources on building new Crucible maps, it comes with the trade-off of multiple teams' bandwidth on work. That contributes to a variety of experiences that players also hold dear, such as new stories or exotic mission content, core activities that make up the foundation of each season, or new destinations. Similarly, bringing back reprised maps also involves extensive porting to the latest version of Destiny 2, which requires additional resources to ensure the maps work correctly for multiple game modes and playstyles each year to come. So what does this mean? If I were to rewrite it, in honest terms, I would say we at Bungie are too lazy and too focused on Marathon to create anything new for Destiny. We could port other maps back into the game that we took out for some reason, but we've made such an awful game engine that we'd have to take more than 5 minutes out of our game of hopscotch to re-add something that was already added in the game previously. That's just something we can't do. I got a tournament of hacky sack in a few minutes here. I know it's hard for Bungie employees to work more than 30 minutes a week, especially when they only have a 20-minute break in that time period. So it's completely understandable that it would be way too hard to add content that was already in the game, or to make one new PvP map in 3 years. And you know, when they do get to work, they work on more important things, like Marathon, the game that everybody is waiting for and pleading to have. We're all eagerly waiting for the day we can drop Destiny in a flash and go to Marathon, just like you have. What are these overarching improvements they're talking about? New game modes. Wow. The launch of the competitive division? You mean the mode with all the hackers? PvP weapon tuning? Despite the fact you're still gonna get smacked with an igneous hammer? Or an immortal? I'm surprised you guys even got these out. You must have been slaving away in there. That's just completely unreasonable that PvP players would want more than one new map in 3 years, especially since you've changed PvP so much in that time. Gosh, we really are clowns, aren't we? Oh boy, let's get this over quick. The Vanguard playlists are currently in a solid place with a healthy population, and we have more new additions coming up. I'm gonna cut it right there, because what you're saying is just some gosh darn phooey. There have been 2 new strikes added in the past 2 years, I think. The only addition to the Vanguard playlists have been Battlegrounds, which were made for a season, not for the Vanguard playlist. Should I also mention how Battlegrounds don't don't work for Nightfalls, or that we still don't have strike-specific loot, or how you took out over half of the strikes in the game and then wonder why people get burnt out on it? Or should I talk about the only reason that it's so populated? It's because it's one of the only things that new lights and free-to-play players can do. So yeah, keep telling yourself that, Bungie. Then we got everybody's favorite Gambit. As many of you have noticed, we've been quiet on Gambit since last year's overhaul that launched alongside the Witch Queen. I don't really need to go any more into that. I'm done reading there. Overhaul? Are we playing the same game? Do you have a version of Gambit that we don't have? What is this overhaul of Gambit? You'll have to tell me. Is it the time you took out regular Gambit and made Gambit Prime regular Gambit? And that's it? Honestly, I'm surprised you didn't charge us $60 for that. That's a great overhaul. Hell, you should have slapped a price tag on that and called it a day. I mean, I'd say to get the whiners off your back, you could just port a map, but apparently you can't do that. Oh, you can, and you're doing it. Oh, okay. I'm just a little confused because we just established that you couldn't, but I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear the first part there. You're good. And then here it is, we got my personal favorite part of the blog post right here. Players have pointed out that we didn't release a new armor set for the ritual playlists, Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit, with Lightfall as previously called out in our yearly release schedule. Delivering ritual armor sets at the rates we have been in the past has become increasingly challenging, especially considering these sets have historically had very low adoption rates by players, as both base armor and cosmetic ornaments. And the winner for biggest nematode of the year goes to Bungie for their State of the Game blog post. Congrats, Bungie, you did it. Bro was forced to make one new armor set and recolor it 3 different times. Now that you mention it, I really don't see many people with the ritual armor sets on. I wonder why that could be. I see a lot of people with Eververse items on, or raid items. I just can't get it through my head what could be the reason it's like that. It couldn't be that the ritual armor sets are low effort, shitty armor sets, and all the good armor sets are in raids and ornaments. I mean, it's not like they released the PlayStation collab with 3 unique armor sets, the Noir set with the launch of Lightfall, a new seasonal armor, and a universal ornament for that. It's just impossible to make new armor. I don't get why people think that we have time to do this. We've got brewskis to slam and marathon to play. We don't have time for Destiny. What? You guys are still on that? You're still on the game that revived our company, and despite mistreating everyone for the past 10 years and having them all come back to us every single time, we don't give a shit? I don't want to play with you anymore? Bro, get over it. It's marathon time, alright? Now, are the devs lazy? Probably. But the real reason that nothing is being made for Destiny and that nothing of quality or quantity has come to the game in at least a year is because of Marathon. They've decided that they don't want to play with us anymore. So it's time to hop on the new gravy train meat boat called Extraction Shooters. Things that have never been done before. It's certainly something people aren't over already. But yeah, fellers, essentially, Marathon is sapping all of the talent away from Bungie, whether the people working on it like it or not. I'm sure there's a bunch of devs that joined Bungie to work on Destiny, and I guarantee management said, too bad, you're going to work on Marathon. Some of you may be thinking, wouldn't it be a good idea to finish your sandwich before you throw it out and make a new one? Well no, that'd be stupid. This sandwich is old, I want a new one. And god damn it, did Bungie make their sandwich. The only sentiment I really have for Bungie is, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. This community has been through hell and back with Bungie and Destiny. We have given it way more lenience than possibly any game ever. Usually a game dies and then comes back and it's constantly updated and doing well. Destiny has died like 3 times, and despite that, people were still playing it and still came back to it. I'm done with Destiny after the final shape. I was already planning on doing that based off of other things about Bungie and Destiny, but this kind of just proves it. Why should I care about the game when the devs don't even care about it? I'm tired of doing that. Feels like with games today, that's all I ever do. So yeah, big Destiny L here. Let me know what you think of this, and thanks for watching.